Hey everyone, this is the crew from Next Level Ag coming to you today just to have a roundtable discussion of what the heck just happened. So, Matt, you wanna?
Oh, we're talking about fall?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think fall is like every other fall, but obviously a lot different than every other fall. But it was, we had a lot of products out there to try, and it's kind of the fun time of year for us to look at everything and see what worked and what didn't work. And this was maybe a very exceptional year in that aspect because we had probably one of the most weird years we've had in a long time where it was dry. Very dry. One of the driest years in 20 plus years in this area, where I think most people thought we would go into harvest and be disappointed with our grain yields. And beets, I think we thought were going to be pretty good because of some late rains, but I don't think anybody expected to harvest corn and soybean crops like we did. So I think everybody was pleasantly surprised at that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was kind of fun because we got to see that, but then it was also challenging because we had some issues with some fields in certain areas with some corn down, and I think every company struggled with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that was hybrid specific, and some of it was just we had crazy dry areas that there was nothing with the stock, and it got late and windy and stuff. But so I think we don't want to overreact to the weather conditions, I guess.
Right.
We want to try to just take it all with a grain of salt, and if one variety was really good this year, maybe we should be cautious about going hog wild on it next year,
right,
on more of a normal year, but still obviously try it. And if there was one variety that's really been rock solid for us the last 4 or 5 years and maybe had a little bit of a down year, that could also be drought related, so we don't want to give up on that.
Right.
So I think we have to just look at everything situationally. I don't know what you guys thought.
It is interesting to see it, how everything handled the dry weather, because since we've been doing this, have we really had a dry year? I mean, it's been mostly, if anything, it's too wet.
Exactly.
And so it's interesting to see how the varieties are responding, how everything is coming together in a drought year like this year. See what it was like when it comes time to harvest. So
Talking to customers out there, the last year you always heard about was 86, 87 being the worst drought they'd ever seen.
88, yeah.
We went from that all the way till now with that type of moisture, and seeing how far technologies in
yes,
both fertilizer and hybrids have come, just because back then you were harvesting 40 to 80 bushel corn and almost nothing on beans. Well, now we had guys that were still pulling 200 averages in an area we thought 140 would have been lucky. So it was just amazing to see that. And so it's hard to be too disappointed, but yeah, there were a few disappointments out there, but like Matt said, you got to take it with a grain of salt and look at more of a 5-year average of data rather than just a 1-year data set, because you could throw off your whole farm if we start doing that. We get bad swings, and we can't predict the weather. So go forward with what we know, having looked on the past 5 years too, and see what we all got in the profile. And
going back to what Matt said, us being surprised. I mean, you drive around all summer and you see how uneven the corn is. You got the dry pockets where you're looking at it and you're thinking, I don't even know if that thing's going to put an ear on it. And then you combine it and it's like, wow, that's a lot better than I thought. And I think that goes a lot with how far seed has come and how all these products have developed over the last however many years.
Right.
And I think we're maybe what I'm most excited about was that we've really had good luck and good results with Agroliquid over the last 4 or 5 years on what I would call normal years and wet years. And then we got into a situation this year where it was drought, and I would have said we performed maybe better than we ever have in that department. So I think that solidified some of these liquid products that we're selling.
Right.
And I know Nick's got some results out there and stuff with Pivot Bio. I don't know if you want to talk about Pivot a little bit.
Yeah, and that was this year was a good year to have a lot of trials out there for that too, because that should work better. It should do its job. more in drier situations because you're not going to have the environmental end that you're going to get. So it was good to see that, and we're learning a lot as far as where to put it and on how to manage it. It's not something that you can just throw on and you're going to see all the results, but if you manage it and you know, okay, I'm not going to put as much N on in the fall or the spring, this will produce the N. We saw that it works like it should.
And I think we're still processing some of that data.
Exactly.
We'll have that. And I think when I think about it, I don't know if it's going to be a blanket thing where you just throw it on and don't account for it in your nitrogen program.
Right. You won't see the results.
I think where it could be huge for guys this coming year is that if for some reason you didn't get all your fertilizer on in the fall, or you have a field or two that you might switch over to corn or something in the spring, it's probably going to be a very economical choice for N in the spring, and it should be part of a program, and I think that would work in that situation very well. So I think we're figuring out soil types, previous crops, how much N we think we're going to need, and what the manure history is like, all that. We can take all those and decide where it's going to work the best for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're still learning on that, and we're going to do a bunch more tests again this year.
Right. And yeah, the majority of the trials that we had done this year were with the previous product, and now this year they're moving to their Pivot Bio Proven 40, or
Yep.
it's supposed to fixate more like 40 pounds of N versus the 25, which was the previous product. So it might be another trial year to see exactly what that will do, but it's definitely got potential, and it worked like it should have.
And
it did what it's.
And I don't want to sound like a broken record because everybody's been hearing this every place they go, co-op, wherever. But this year, and I'll let Brian touch on this because he's been dealing with most of this stuff so far, but this is going to be a very important year to not drag your feet on buying any of these products, liquid, pivot, seed. We're seeing price increases every day. We don't know when some of the price increases are coming on liquid fertilizer. So the only way you can lock in your price is to get it bought. So don't drag your feet this year. Come in here, get a plan together with us, and let's get it done because we want to get this stuff bought for you guys cheap as possible.
Absolutely, that message has been spoken by everyone the last couple of months, where we're just kind of coming to the realization that no, this isn't going to change before spring. Everyone, whether it's Agroliquid or any of our competitors, they're saying the same thing. No, we're backed up on our supplies to the point where we're not going to see a correction until next summer, and we just hope it happens then. So we've done all that we can. We've maximized our tank storage to hedge some of these things, and now we do have another price sheet out that allows us spring delivery, which is great. But yeah, like Matt said, those costs are going up every day, and the quicker we can get it booked, the better off we're going to be.
And right now I think we know what we can get, but that's not a guarantee. All of a sudden availability is going to become an issue here.
Yep.
And we want to try to get this stuff bought, locked in, delivered, so that we don't get too close to spring and all of a sudden, hey, well, we can't get this stuff here in time. We don't want any kind of situations like that for our customers. So we're not sitting here bugging you guys to come in and spend money sooner than just for our benefit. We just want to get this stuff done and locked in so everybody gets what they need for spring.
And there is a positive in this from Agroliquid. They're managing it probably better than I've seen a lot of other companies do it, where when I put in an order, I know that if they say, yep, that order is good, it is going to come. They are watching their inventory very closely to make sure they don't get in an oversold position and leave anyone hanging. But yeah, just a broad stroke thing as far as the cost of fertilizer. You know, where Pivot Bio is going to be 60 to 70 cents per pound of N. A lot of the 28s, a lot of the dries, we're over $1 now. And yeah, putting together a good plan with all these tools that we have is going to be the best gameplay, but we cannot wait to make those decisions.
So I think, I mean, in summary, we all had a lot of really good things, surprises this fall. There were a few surprises and negative, which I think is normal. And we're not scared to share those. We had a couple cornfields that went down, and we try to take care of those customers and straighten it out. And we'll just adjust our plan with some of those hybrids in the future. I mean, I think we're ready for another year, and we got a bunch of more testing in mind, and we'll share a bunch of the results once we get them processed and through. And just don't be afraid to contact one of us. Let's get the ball rolling this year.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll say the same thing as on the precision side of our business. The sooner we can know what we're doing for springtime, the better
Easier
chance
time.
we have of getting the parts we need to finish these projects and keep everybody moving coming into season 2022. So,
Awesome.
you bet. Well, good talk. We'll see you all later.
All right.
You gotta get
repeat
your
that.
hand out in front of your mouth.
You got a face for video.
Oh, you got a face for radio.